Welcome back to the Webby and O'Neill channel. Manchester United are advancing on a deal for Royal Antwerp's goalkeeper Senne Lammens. Rasmus Højlund as well looks like he's going to be on the move to Napoli with talks advancing there. We're also going to discuss the Manchester United versus Fulham game later on in the video, so get involved, have your say, and we'll discuss some of your comments throughout today's video. First place to start, and that's the goalkeeper, Senne Lammens.
Yeah, well, they're going in for a goalkeeper, and I've got to say, Sunday against Arsenal, soon as Bayindir made that mistake, the men in suits all looked at each other and went, we can't have this. It's the same old corner, goalkeeper flapping. We've got to change it. Let's get a goalkeeper. And to be fair, they've acted and they're bringing in a goalkeeper. Who stays? Who goes? Onana, Bayindir. We'll get into that.
Yeah, already got 3 goalkeepers. Looking at bringing Lammens in as well, as you can see up on screen. I think it's roughly about €20 million that's being touted, which works out roughly at £17 million. It's been talked about that he's going to be coming in, though, to provide competition for Onana. Do you actually believe that?
Yeah, I believe that for the moment. Yeah, for the long term, I'm not too sure. The curse of goalkeepers is definitely back at Manchester United. I don't see how Bayindir stays at Manchester United. But then again, how did they move him on? They can't have 4 goalkeepers at Manchester United. Heaton given another 1-year contract. One of them's got to go. I don't think Onana's going to go. That's definitely Bayindir. They'll try and ship him out. And to be honest with you, I think if they don't ship him out, they will stick with 4 goalkeepers. They'll have no choice. For me, he's the understudy for Onana, putting pressure on him. It does say in the reports that he's there for competition. Well, if he was there for competition, you've got to say to yourself, he should have been brought in earlier, should have been integrated into the squad and got used to it.
I just think as well, though, we're just touching on what you said before, I think after that Arsenal game, they was expecting Bayindir to give that competition, but that error, they've just gone, no, let's go and get a deal done for another goalkeeper that we think can push André Onana. And if André Onana makes any more mistakes this season, I expect this goalkeeper, Lammens, to be given a run of games.
Look, they were hoping for Bayindir to put pressure on and to perform. And as soon as they've seen that first game of the season, they've gone, no way, this is just going to be the same. He made mistakes last year. We all know that. We've highlighted it many times. Yous have highlighted it. Onana's made mistakes. And they thought, right, well, if Onana doesn't do the business, we can confidently put Bayindir. Not a chance. I never thought that was the right attitude and the right way to go anyway. But this goalkeeper, he's 23. I don't really know too much about him. I've not gone out there and watched him because at the end of the day, you know the score when you're looking at clips. You can also go and find the bloopers. So for me, they've got confidence in the kid. They might have been looking at bringing him in next summer, but he's there and he will put pressure on. There's always pressure on Onana. We know that. But for me, Onana was always going to stay this year and then look at how he performs. But if he doesn't perform, he's out. And I think the next 2 games for Onana are crucial. That'll give time for Lammens, if that's what you call him. Lammens. The next 2 games, get him over here, international break, and then let's see what Onana's doing. But for me, I think Onana's here for another year, and it has to be Bayindir moved out if they do manage to move him out, to be honest. Competition, of course, he's competition, and you need it. But he's rated, how highly he is, we'll soon see.
Yeah, for me, in an ideal world, we'd shift André Onana out, Bayindir and Tom Heaton all in one summer transfer window. Manchester United need a world-class goalkeeper, and we deserve a world-class goalkeeper the size of this football club. And you never know, we're going to have a situation like we did with Højlund. I mean, it looked like he was going to be staying there, Højlund, this season. But as soon as Sesko come in, you started seeing him not getting any minutes in the pre-season. Didn't get anything as well against Arsenal. And you could have that same repeat performance like we have got with André Onana once Lammens comes in. So
listen,
for me, I think André Onana, with it being noted from Ruben Amorim in his press conference that he actually was fit and ready to play last week against Arsenal and wasn't in the squad. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they shift André Onana on still in this transfer window. The problem is his current performances and his performances over the last 2 seasons haven't been good enough. So who's going to take him? That's the problem, and on them wages as well.
I think what will, this is my personal opinion, I think what will happen is Onana's here he'll be starting the games. Once he makes the mistake, Lammens, he'll be in. And then Onana's out. Whether they can get rid of him, whether United could go out there and buy a top-class goalkeeper. I'm not saying Lammens isn't a good goalkeeper. Like I say, I've not seen him. But Onana, for me, soon as he makes the mistake and he gets dropped, the decision will be to get rid of him, because they can't rely on Bayindir and they can't rely on Onana. Onana should have put all the mistakes behind him. Okay, his confidence was shattered last year. He got dropped at some point. Listen, goalkeeping situation, once your confidence goes, very hard to get it back. He's got everything to prove. So he will be pushing Onana, but I can guarantee you he will be out at the end of the year once he gets dropped if he makes any mistakes. That's how I see it. I think a lot of other people see that. I don't think there's anybody out there looking to bring Onana in. So the transfer window as a goalkeeper, it's Lammens in, and then try and get rid of Bayindir. That's how I see it.
The big telltale sign will be on Sunday against Fulham if Bayindir starts in goal, and you see the same repeat if André Onana's on the bench or not even in the squad again. For me, that screams alarm bells that Manchester United want him out of the club in this transfer window, especially if Lammens does come in the next few days as well.
Listen, I look at Sunday's game
for me.
And it's so important. Got to win it. Got to win it anyway. I'm not bothered about the performance. Just got to get the 3 points. But if he puts Bayindir in there, then that for me, that's not going to happen. I cannot see that happening at all.
Why?
The men in suits walked out of that ground on Sunday and went, he is not good enough to be behind Onana as a replacement and put competition in. He's not. Onana's got to go in, because if Onana doesn't go in, then you say to yourself, hang on a minute, why haven't we just sold him? He's not starting the game. He's had plenty of time to train and everything else like that. His fitness is up there. So he's the number one goalkeeper. And if they were thinking of getting rid of him, they should have got rid of him 3 months ago. So for me, Onana's the goalkeeper, and that's the reason why. Bayindir, there is no trust in him as a number one goalkeeper, not even as competition. Because them men in suits, they sat down, and they probably sat down with Ruben Amorim and said, look, we've got to act here, okay? We can't go through a season, especially at the start of the season, right, relying on a goalkeeper what flaps. And not only he flaps, they can't really rely on Onana. He has to perform.
Isn't it a good feeling, though, and good to see? Like, it looks like finally we've got the right footballing people behind the scenes to make decisions and know what's best for the football club and players on the pitch as well. And the way they've acted, not just with Lammens as well, to try and get this deal over the line this weekend, but the likes of Cunha and Bumo and Sesko.
Yeah, but the thing is, you say it's great to rely on the people. It's great to see what they're doing, and they're doing the right things now. No, they haven't done the right thing. Okay, they should have gone out there and got a number one goalkeeper, one of the best in the world. That's what they should have done, and they haven't done that. So for me, doing it this late, this just brings a little bit of chaos into the squad, to be honest with you. Brings doubt into what's really going on with the goalkeepers. We know the situation with the goalkeepers, and it should have been sorted. So for Onana, where's his head? So he might have a really bad time on Sunday because of all the doubt, and that's what you don't want. That's why we all said the players what need to be brought in at the beginning of the transfer window. And to do it now, all it is doubt. We don't know who's going to start Sunday. We don't know if they're going to have to keep 4 goalkeepers because they can't get rid of a goalkeeper they want to. We don't know, and it's all doubt. And the last thing you want in any position, there's 2 positions, is a centre forward and a goalkeeper. You have to get the best. You have to get the best. Okay,
yeah, but just because
they've acted on the centre forward, but they've not acted on the goalkeeper. So yes, they've done well. The men in suits, they're improving. Okay, we know they've made missteps and that, but I think this might backfire on us, where Lammens ends up straight in after the international break in a couple of weeks. You know, for Onana, this is a massive test.
I know what you're saying about the goalkeeper, and United deserve, the best goalkeeper in the world, and I do get that. But who's to say that Lammens can't be a top goalkeeper in the next 12, 18 months? I mean, if you look at all the stats out there, the highlight videos, which I'm always sceptical about, I've got to be honest. I mean, he looks a very good goalkeeper and he looks better than what we've already got. It's just a matter of when he pulls on that red shirt, can he handle the pressure, which so many players have failed to do over the years? Because we have gone out there and bought players because they've been good players at their other clubs. But as soon as you put them in a United shirt, some of them just fold, they flap. Look, but let's hope this kid can come in and he's got nerves of steel, because he could be a very, very good goalkeeper, and it could be an absolute steal at £17 million when we look back on it in 12 months, 24 months.
It could be a steal at £17 million. He's 23 years of age, but the word what you said there, in the future, no, it's a goalkeeper. It's a goalkeeper we need, okay? We're not happy. We're not confident. We need a goalkeeper now. Okay, the situation where it is, right, is he a number one? You bring a goalkeeper in, right, because you know what's going on with the goalkeepers, okay? They're flapping. They're not doing the right things. They're making mistakes, okay? You don't bring this is how I see it. You don't bring a goalkeeper in, right, when you know the goalkeepers you've got, right, are just fraught with mistakes throughout any game. It happens. We've seen it. Our eye test says it. The eye test said it to the men in suits on Sunday. So if you're going to replace a goalkeeper and you haven't got the confidence, because there's no way in this world the men in suits, Ruben Amorim, or anybody out there has got confidence in Onana. He has to prove himself, but they should have done the replacement and they haven't. So you have to back Onana, okay? And you have to hope he's cut the mistakes out, and then that will give time for the young lad this year to work his way through and give competition to Onana. But have we got confidence in that? No. This is the scenario, and it keeps coming back, and I think it will bite us, right, where goalkeepers, it's not been sorted. We spoke yesterday to Paul Parker, and he told us when he was playing under Sir Alex Ferguson about the goalkeepers. He talked about Schmeichel, he talked about Van der Sar, and he was saying this is what you need. And he does not rate Onana as a goalkeeper. And most of you out there, when they watched the video yesterday, right, agreed that Onana, no one rates him. So there's no confidence in Onana.
I have got confidence, though, with the lads behind the scenes. I've got to be honest with you, the way they've picked out the players that we've got in this summer's transfer window, and if they're going out after seeing the mistake by Bayindir, they know what André Onana is about over the last 2 years. For him to go out and get this goalkeeper, I fully trust him, I've got to be honest, in getting the right goalkeeper to try and solve the problems that we've got, and I'm fully backing it, I'm fully for it, and let's hope that there is competition for places there. If André Onana does stay, let's hope Lammens brings the best out of André Onana that we've not seen yet, and vice versa. But I'm just going to go on to some news as well with Rasmus Højlund. I mean, some of it come out late last night, some updates as well today. But Fabrizio Romano has said that Napoli are advancing in talks to sign Rasmus Højlund. Positive talks today with Højlund and his camp about contract terms and the project for the long term. Manchester United are informed about talks and ready to get a deal done if Højlund and Napoli agree on terms.
Yeah, I think it's a great move for Højlund, go to Napoli. Yes, we know there's injuries there. That's why they're interested in him. But, you know, obligation to buy, that's all good. That's what he came out with, Højlund, the other day. He doesn't just want a loan move. And fair play to him. Go to Napoli. They are the team at the moment. They've won the league. We know what Scott McTominay's done over there. He could end up like a superstar over there. So for me, I think he's going to Napoli. And I think he'll enjoy it and he'll do well. Different type of football, we know that. Different pace and all that. But for me, he's got to go. He will go. And it'll get done next week. What is it? 7-8 days left. Transfer window. You know, anything could happen. But AC Milan are in the background. So there's options there for him. And good luck to him.
I think a lot of fans, though, they're wondering, they're guessing, if Højlund does go, what's then the competition for Benjamin Sesko up front? Is it Joshua Zirkzee? And then that sort of like plan B, where you've got like the likes of Cunha or Mbeumo up front?
Yeah, that's the option. Guni and Mbeumo, they're the goal scorers. They'll play up there. And as we've seen against Arsenal, he started with Mason Mount. There's your option.
Yeah, I believe that Xerxes could possibly have a good season. I think it might take him another few weeks, though, to get up to match speed, that sharpness with missing pre-season. But I think it will benefit him and help him with the likes of Cunha and Mbeumo behind him. I still don't think he's that natural goal scorer, but I think in terms of link-up play and sustained attacks, I think the three of them, can bring that to our game this season.
Listen, what you've got to look at is you've actually got to put your fingers crossed and hope that he gets the ball, the service and everything, which has been poor for a while. But with the players in Cunha and Mbeumo, and with the way everyone's sort of changed and they're all down to it now, they're all fighting for it, the energy is there. I think he'll be a success here at Manchester United.
Ray Stone earlier on gifted 5 memberships. Apologies, my mate, with a late response. 5 people who've been gifted their memberships. A big thank you to the legend Ray. Just getting involved in the chat as well. Rav D says Lammens stats better than Donnarumma's and Costa. I think you mean, is it Diogo Costa from Porto? So the stats are there, but like I mentioned earlier, some players out there have folded when they've put that red shirt on. But let's hope United have made another correct decision in bringing another player in who's going to perform here.
Yeah, I still think they'll get rid of Onana next summer and bring in another goalkeeper. So there will be competition, and I think they've got an eye on it, and things can change. You look at it, what we want. We know we need a midfielder, holding midfield player and that. So I think they'll have the targets next year, centre-half, goalkeeper, midfielder, because there's no need to worry about bringing people in who are good at scoring goals. Them players what have been signed this summer, they're there for a few years. So we've no problem there. And then they're going to look to fix it one step at a time. But this goalkeeping situation, I really think they should have acted at the beginning of the transfer window. It doesn't bode well for the next few weeks, to be honest with you.
Okay. Stephanie Griffith, thanks for keeping a tab on how many people are watching and the likes as well.
Yes.
I think it's about 500 people watching currently. We've only got 107 likes, so start smashing that like button and supporting the channel.
Come on.
A lot of people now getting involved with André Onana Bayindir, who will start against Fulham. But will we actually see Sesko and Mbeumo and Cunha all start this weekend?
Yeah, I think so. I think the one position, what you've got to look at is Ahmad. Will he start? And I think he should start. I thought when he came on, he actually took the fight to Arsenal. Yeah. Very tricky. And I think the players around look more of an attacking threat, one touch and everything. That's the way it is. So for me, Dalot, he's not the man. He sort of goes forward and then doesn't sort of like create. So for me, Ahmad at the ball, he's got to be in there. But I was very puzzled by that situation, not starting him against Arsenal. He's a massive threat. People don't want to tackle him. He's dangerous. So for me, that's the situation. Well, that's the player I want on the pitch, and the attacking side of it just speaks for itself. This is Manchester United. We want to see an attacking side. We want to get back to that. And Sunday's game against Arsenal, the performance, it gave everyone a lift. It was just the disappointment of the goal.
Marcus Stevenson in the chat says, I think they're buying players they think that can handle it. They're bringing in different attitudes, and it's also the profile of players as well. The 3 we've bought this summer, you go back to January, Dorgu and Heaven, the physical attributes as well and the intensity that they can bring to the team. And let's hope that continues with Lammens as well, but obviously in goal. Stephanie Griffith says, Rasmus and Scott McTominay reunion at Napoli, getting in each other's way. Again, up front, incoming. They've also got Kevin De Bruyne up there. Well, Rasmus won't have any excuses about a lack of service with De Bruyne being in the team, but it'd be interesting to see how he does get on finding the net if he does go to Napoli. Ansel says, I think next summer we may well see Xerxes and Mason Mount leave. Ahmad then moves back to the number 10, and a right wing back and a couple of CMs will be coming in.
Well, you mentioned just before about players' mentality and this, that and the other. You go back to the previous regime. They were just buying players what didn't even fit the system, where their character didn't integrate into it. And it looks as though they've got it spot on, that they've got the right attitude with these players bringing in. So for me, I look back and I say to myself, it was all disjointed, and that it doesn't seem disjointed at the moment. You look at Dorgu, he came in January. He looks prime for that position, and he will get better. Still a young lad. He's improving. I still think there's a lot more to see from him. But I think it's the right calibre of players, what we're buying. And when you look back, what an absolute disgrace it was bringing that player in, that player there, that player there, that player there. And they didn't even fit the system. They didn't even gel with their own teammates. So the personalities and everything seemed to fit the Manchester United going forward as it is before personalities, and we've seen it. You know, we've seen the bomb squad just bang out of order, to be honest.
Do you think we will actually shift any of them on? Sancho, Garnacho, Anthony, Tyrell Malacia before that window closes?
Well, Ruben Amorim's hoping that they get a club, and he's turning round and saying, well, you know, the options are out there for him. Let's hope they move on. If they don't, then we'll start to reintegrate him into the team. Well, I tell you what.
Do you believe him?
No, I don't believe him. I don't believe him at all. He's got 6 players there who walk round the club giving out like orders and making sure people settle down and they don't get too out of order and all that. I think them players who are in charge of the squad and everything, I don't think they'll accept it. And quite rightly so, because, you know, you've had Harry Maguire, you've had Luke Shaw come out.
Oh, you mean they've got a leadership team inside the dressing room, aren't they? I think there's 6 players, like you say, Maguire, Delot, Bruno, Tom Eaton, etc.
Well, if you look at that leadership team, most of them have come out in the press and slaughtered the attitude of these players what have been bombed out. So for me, these players won't forgive and forget, right, what have been bombed out. They know who's against them. Well, everyone's against them because they're not having that attitude. And these players are not going to come back into this squad, into this team, right, and suddenly change their attitudes because they can't find a club. They should have done that before and fought for the shirt. And as a fan, right, we don't want them because they couldn't care less about us fans. They didn't want to fight for the shirt, and you don't want people around like that. The culture's changed and everything. So, you know, for me, I think he's just waffling, Ruben Amorim, when he talks about reintegrating him into the squad. That's never going to happen. And if it does, then I think it's a wrong move.
One of the members of that leadership team, Harry Maguire, I've seen some quotes yesterday. Some of you might have seen the same. And he was discussing that he's got 1 year left on his deal, but he's hoping to sit down with the club and sort something out where he stays here for longer.
No, I think you have to look at the policy of Manchester United, bringing in players now. They've got young players. Aidan Heavens there, for instance. I'll just use him as an example. But there's other players in the background. I think that's what's going to happen. And I think they'll go out there and buy a top-class centre-half, 24, 25 years of age, and get him in the team. I think the time for Harry Maguire is over. He's could have been sold 2-3 years ago. We was all screaming, get him out. But he's actually turned it round. I'm not saying he's a great player or anything like that, by no means. But what it is, he's been a useful squad member, and you can see, and he's deserved his praise, to be honest with you. But another contract for Harry Maguire, using the media again to poke the bear, as they say. And I don't like that when players start mentioning it about the contract in the media.
MB Creator says the price for the keeper is reasonable, so I do get it, but the midfielder was more of a priority in my opinion. As much as fans don't value Casemiro at 33, this season rests on him staying fit. And you could be right there, mate, to be honest with you, because it's looking, from my point of view, that Ruben Amorim would rather have him in front of Agati starting. I think that's his first choice. I think the midfield, that going for Baliba was the right thing to do. Clearly, United had no intention of paying that amount of money. And I think going for a goalkeeper, I think it should have been the right thing to do. I never expected him
to change Onana. I've said it for 6 months now. So for me, I don't know which is more vital, the holding midfielder or the goalkeeper. When you look at the Arsenal game, you have to say to yourself, really, the goalkeeper, the players have improved. The outfield players have improved. Arsenal didn't come steaming through us, and you've got to hope that the team gels and it works together as a unit. But the goalkeeper is there and he's on his own. And that, for me, I think if they were going to get anybody, if I had a choice, it should have been a goalkeeper.
Nikos B from our members club, what's the lowest Man United should sell ungrateful Garnacho for? For me, the minimum should be 40 million. And I'd also want a sell-on clause put in that as well.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, 40 million. And, you know, add-on, you know, like an add-on fee or anything like that. But they've got to get 40 million. With appearances, you know, these add-ons, what they put on, I think that should be there, rising to 55 million. Because by rights, when you see other players out there, what they're going for, what teams are teams in the Championship are asking, teams what have been relegated, they're asking 55, 60 million for their players and that. Well, Garnacho's there because he's got a talent, right? It just needs coming out, and he's got a bad attitude, and that attitude needs to change. So there's potential. So for me, when you look around, I would say 55 million. You could charge 40, 45 million and then take it up to 55 million. But anything less than 45 million, then I'd just say no. I'd just say no, because I think United could absorb it. They could absorb it, and then possibly someone might look in January to take him.
Yeah, Tyler Diblin, you're looking at Madueke, Gittins to Chelsea as well, the fees that have been paid for them 3 players. So is it out of reach, and is it fair? I think it's reasonable to ask for 40 million plus a sell-on clause or add-ons, like you say, for Garnacho. And for me at the moment, when you look about, I think it was 2 or 3 days ago, reports that Chelsea didn't want to pay more than 25, 30 million for Garnacho, and he's a player who's holding out just for Chelsea. Well, if I'm looking at it from Garnacho's point of view, I'd be scratching my head thinking, well, Chelsea don't really value me, so I better try and make him moves elsewhere. And he's already turned down chances and approaches from Bayern Munich as well, which is absolutely crazy in my opinion, a club the size of Bayern Munich and its stature.
Well, listen, I had a conversation with Paul Parker yesterday, and he was talking about these players, what on the sideline ready to try and find another club, and he could not believe that these players didn't want to play football, and he could not believe how Garnacho turned down the interest from Bayern Munich. Who wouldn't want to go to Bayern Munich? And as he said, different if it was Real Madrid, yeah, they could turn your head, but Bayern Munich, Garnacho, what a complete and utter fool.
Yeah, a lot of people mentioning about Garnacho, the attitude, people getting involved as well with the actual prices. Marcus Stevenson says 25 million plus sell-on as well. And yeah, it's just about whether you're confident as well if Man United will get a deal done for him. I think this one might actually just go to the final day with Garnacho and Anthony as well. I
think Anthony's taking the mick out of us all. I do, because his offer's there for him. And I was backing him because I thought you'd done really well to get on with your football at Real Betis and that. But this holding out for Real Betis and this like, oh, we're so poor, Betis. Oh, we can't afford his wages and that. But hang on a minute. You know, you should be wanting to play football, and there's offers out there, and he's not taking him, just the same as Garnacho. So how can you reintegrate these players, right, if they don't go? You don't want these players around. They don't seem to be able, they don't seem to want to go and play football, which should be the first thing. If they don't get their transfer, there's no chance of them playing football. And if they do get the transfers, they're not going to be playing football for quite a while, at least another month, to get fit and everything, and the international breaks there. So for me, these players really, the modern footballer, as Paul Parker says, it doesn't sit well at all. So reintegration, Ruben Amorim, he's taking the mick out of us.
It's like 1 step forward, 2 steps back if you start reintegrating the likes of Garnacho. I'm not saying Anthony has got that same maybe negative attitude as the likes of Garnacho. Maybe Rashford's had in the background during his time, and Sancho.
Reintegrate
But at the
Sancho.
same time, I think Manchester United should just get them all out of the door, just kick them up the backsides, get out and take what fees are there. But with Garnacho, it's the pure profit thing, and it's the PSR thing with Garnacho.
Yeah.
And it just leaves a little bit of hope with me that if we do sell Garnacho in the next few days and there's time still left in that window, we could possibly see another player brought in. It gives me hope, and especially with Rasmus Højlund as well, nearly completing a deal with Napoli as well. I think there might be some cash there for him to go and spend, but let's wait and see.
Well, I'll look at Sancho. Let's get it right. I'm not sure on this stat, but I actually reckon there's been about 10 clubs who have shown interest in Sancho since Chelsea paid £5 million to send him back. And he's just sat there, not interested at all. And you think that player can walk back and be reintegrated into this squad and change and change in the changing rooms and speak to these players?
Yeah.
Absolutely no chance at all. Sancho has to be the most poisonous, disinterested footballer who is just taking the mick and taking liberties at Manchester United I've ever seen. And how anybody, to be honest with you, with that attitude, would want to take him baffles me. But I'll tell you something. I'll tell you where he'll go on the last day. He'll go to Borussia Dortmund. That's where he'll go.
Back home.
Back home, where he's loved and everything else like that. Because to be honest with you, he's got no other option.
Yeah, gives him plenty of time to play on his PlayStation as well over in Dortmund. Zayn Miase, thanks for your super chat. Arsenal fan, I may add. Do you regret not getting Eze? He will get more goals than Sesko. I mean, Eze, the position that he does play. Let me say something, though. I do think Eze is a top player. So I just want to get that out there. But I would definitely rather have Cunha or Mbumo over Eze right now. That's my opinion. Sesko, I mean, for me, I've not seen a lot of him at Leipzig, only the odd games, and I'm really looking forward to him putting on that red shirt because I do think he will have a big impact this season, especially with them two behind him.
Yeah, well, we didn't get Eze. I don't think we were in for him.
Yeah.
We've got what we've got. We've had our budget and that, but the thing is, Eze is a good player. And as you're an Arsenal fan, you obviously think you're going to win the league. So you better win the league and not bottle like you did the last three.
That's it. I'll end it on that. Just like to thank you all for joining us today, getting involved in the chat. It's been popping off in there about Rasmus Højlund, André Onana, the goalkeeping situation as well, the Royal Antwerp keeper, Lammens. I mean, let us know out there your thoughts and opinions on whatever you've seen with him as well, because I know the stats are good on Lammens, so let's hope he can bring that over here and do it in a Manchester United shirt. Thoughts and opinions as well on the Manchester United versus Fulham game. Will we see Sesko, Cunha and Mbumo all start together? I really do hope so. Yeah, I really do, and I'll be looking forward to it. And the game on Sunday, we'll be straight back after it with a match reaction, so come and join us, get that notification on, and we'll see you there. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone, and it's much appreciated for your continued support, and we'll see you soon.